Mataji, it worked. It's okay.
It did, Prabhu?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah. Okay. So now we will go to, let me see if I can turn on the video. It helps. I wasn't really ready for this, but we'll see. Today is the day for us. Bear with me. If that helps. Okay. All right. Krishna, Krishna, Gauranga. Yeah. Yes, again, my pranams to you all, and we'll go ahead. We'll go ahead with the. So we have share this. All right. That's Gaura. Okay. Let's do this. Petu Shuddhana Bhajan. All right. So we have seen from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura the importance of Harinam as an important anga in all the devotional limbs of bhakti. And here there was a question regarding the Samkirtana. When Srila Bhaktisiddhanta is saying Samkirtana means total or perfect Kirtana, and all other devotional activities become unnecessary if one does Samkirtana. And the way we should understand this is in sadhana bhakti, whatever we are hearing from the Shastra, whatever services that we are doing, anything that we do in bhakti is to come to this internal consciousness of some kirtana. In other words, that glorifying mood, not just superficially, but our whole self in the glorification of the Lord. The mind, intelligence, body, and our whole self in the glorification of Lord. That complete kirtana, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta is calling as Samkirtana. So to come to that stage, we do all this sadhana bhakti, whatever we hear and whatever external services we do. So in the beginning, in the sadhana bhakti, all that we do in bhakti is to come to that Samkirtana stage. That is a Saranagati stage. Without Saranagati to Sri Guru and Krishna, we will not be able to come to that Samkirtana stage. But all that we do in sadhana bhakti is slowly to get to that stage. Once somebody comes to that stage, then they still do the external things. But for them, it just flows out. They do it out of affection, out of love for Krishna. So in sadhana bhakti, we hear and we do things to get to some kirtana or Sharanagati or love for Krishna. But after getting to that Samkirtana stage, they just do the things because they want to do it as a loving gesture for Krishna, not for the practice purpose. The practice is over in sadhana bhakti. Yeah, like that. So in both the stages, external activities and hearing will be present. But before coming to the Samkirtana stage, all that we do is to get to the Samkirtana stage. Once somebody comes to the Samkirtana stage, external things will continue, but continue out of love, not for practice. That's one thing. So that is how Samkirtana is a very unique anga amongst all the angas of bhakti. And after hearing that from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, then we wanted to see how we can get to that stage of Sankirtana in our japa. And for that, we have divided this grounding first step. This grounding is outside the japa and inside the japa. We have talked about grounding outside the japa is invoking mercy, doing that bhakti at least in the mode of goodness, trying to do bhakti in the mode of goodness outside the japa. That's invoking mercy. And after that, so that's the table that we had. This is invoking mercy outside the japa or grounding outside the japa. And during that stage, when we are trying to practice bhakti like that, those 22 hours, then there are many anarthas that may come out. All the pushings because of the passion and all the pulling or sinking because of the ignorance. So we talked about what those urges are and how they should be tolerated. And these urges can be minimized and avoided if we avoid the asatsanga, those people who are really into materialistic thinking. Can you make it slideshow, Mataji? Okay. I may not be able to make it. Yeah. Slideshow. Let's try. Slideshow. Reading. Okay. Yeah. So these anarthas that come out during the practice of outside bhakti. What to do? To tolerate them and to minimize them by not associating with those people who has these urges, materialistic people who are not spiritually inclined. If we associate with them, then it's possible that we get more of these urges. So asatsanga, avoid them. This is one of the instruction in Upadeshamrita. After that, then how to overcome when there is a lot of, sinking, pulling down energy because of ignorance. Then we take shelter of the Srimad Bhagavatam sloka, Tatenu Kampam Susamikshamana. Yeah. And on the basis of that sloka, we came up with this practical tool of how to deal with any concerns that we have. We recognize the emotion and we understand what could be the reason for it and come up with some practical solution and make a decision that can take us close to Krishna. Okay. So this is all about bhakti. So outside the japa. And this is invoking mercy by doing all this, trying to practice bhakti in the mode of goodness. Next comes, what do I do inside the japa to make my japa better, to come close to that Sankirtana? Then this is grounding inside the japa. Here we talked about Krishnizing everything. And this is based on Srila Bhakti Vinoda Thakura's instruction that we should see everything and everyone as belonging to Krishna. So this grounding is inside the japa, just before the start of the japa. Then if we Krishnize everything, our body, mind, intelligence, ego, and people around us. And then we are enabling us to focus on the Hare Krishna Mahamantra that we are going to chant. So this is the first step inside the japa, grounding, where we Krishnize and we will minimize the distractions, physical distractions and mentally also. We do not want to think and come up with a to-do checklist, spiritually or for material reasons. So that's about grounding. And after grounding, that is only the beginning of it. We say, still, we want the mind to be with the Mahamantra. But we see that the mind is doing its own thing, saying its own thing. We don't see that the japa is going so well. So that's why we are coming to the second step. where we are seeking the guidance from the acharyas, further guidance from the acharyas, and then want to see what can be done to have our heart in the Harinam. That's when we talked about Sri Sikshastakam, right? And Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakura, he clearly underlined how Sri Sikshastakam is the essence of all Vedic scriptures and the Goswami teachings, and how Sri Sikshastakam should be understood and lived, learned and taken to the heart. So this is by the Acharya. They endorse Sri Sikshastakam. That's the importance of the mood of Sri Sikshastakam. How do we understand this mood? Okay, Sri Sikshastakam is the way to go. If I have that mood, then the Harinam would unfold and Dham would unfold, and we will be able to get closer to Shuddha Bhakti. If I can be in the mood of the Sikshastakam, understood the significance of Sri Sikshastakam. But how do I get there? How can I get into the mood of Sri Sikshastakam? Then, on that note, we have gone through the first verse of Sri Sikshastakam. There, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura is beautifully saying how Harinam can take us all the way from Chetodarpanamarchana to Sarvatma Snapana. However fallen we are, however disturbed we are, however miserable we may feel because of the effect of modes, Harinam has that potency to pick us up from that state and to put us in the spiritual realm. And that is the first verse of Sri Sikshastakam, giving the whole journey, spiritual journey, from the start to the end. That is so beautiful. Total transformation. From Chetodarpana Marjana till Sarvatma Snapana. So in that spiritual journey, how to go ahead? Where are we? We are in the very first stage. Very first stage where we don't have any anuraga for the Harinam. Holy name is so potent. Namnamakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis. All the Shaktis are present in the Harinam. In the Harinam is the Shaktiman, the source of all Shaktis. And there are no rules and regulations to do the Harinam, to do the Japa. And Harinam is being so merciful. Etatrishi tava kripa bhagavan mamati. But what is my great misfortune? I'm so unfortunate. Durdaiva midrisham. Why am I unfortunate? Because I have no attraction for the Shaktiman that is present in the Harinam. I do not have anuraga. Why is this happening to me? I have understood that the mood of Sri Sikshastakam and Saranagati is very essential to get to the stage of Sankirtana. But I'm in the very beginning stage. I do not have anuraga. My mind gets distracted, goes here and there. Not with the holy name. What do I do about it? Why is it like that? The answer to that is because we have been committing aparadhas, offenses, with or without our knowledge. What are those offenses? Padma Purana is endorsing this. We have gone through them in detail, and we have gone through them first in terms of tattva, and then we wanted to understand them. The reason we want to understand them in tattva is so it can bring some change within us, some kind of positive emotion and bhava towards Harinam. A favorable feeling has to come towards Harinam. That is why we are understanding the whole thing in terms of tattva. If we are reading something from Shastra, or if we are hearing something from Acharya, we are doing all that so there can be some change in the heart, some change in the internal feeling, some favorability to the holy name and Krishna. That is why we are doing. So on that note, we have discussed the tattva behind these offenses. there we talked about Bhagavad Tattva. This Bhagavad Tattva or Nama Tattva, how powerful it is. Like Shaktiman is present in the holy name. And everything that is material, everything that is spiritual, everything that is present around has actually emanated from him. Holy name is the source of everything that is existing, even ourselves. We are part of that holy name. So holy name has the remote control for everything because everything has come from the holy name. And that is Nama Tattva. Shaktiman. He is the enjoyer. He is the proprietor. He is the enjoyer and proprietor and the controller and has all the Shaktis. That is Bhagavad Tattva, Nama Tattva. So how should my attitude, be to such powerful emperor that is there in the holy name? Emperor of everything that is material and spiritual. So that way we were trying to understand the fundamental position of the Nama Tattva. And then we looked at ourselves. Mamaivamse Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatan. We, the Jiva here, are part of this Shaktiman. And we are supposed to be reciprocating favorably with the Shaktiman because we are part of him. Like with the hand is there in the body, the hand is supposed to be cooperating with the whole body. If the hand wants to do whatever it wants to do, then the stomach will not be able to give the nourishment for it. So when we are part and parcels, then we are with our source favorably. So that is our position, Jiva Tattva. For Jiva Tattva to reciprocate with Bhagavad Tattva, there has to be a bridge in between. Because Jiva is full of modes. And Bhagavan, Harinam, is no modes at all, Shuddha Sattva. So when Bhagavan decides to come down and rescue the Jiva, then that would be the form of Sri Guru. So that is Guru Tattva. Understanding Guru Tattva as a mercy from Bhagavad Tattva. Sri Krishna Krupa Shri Murti. So any words that are emanating from Sri Krishna Krupa Shri Murti, Shri Guru, any words or instructions, any katha that is emanating from his lotus mouth is meant to get us closer to Krishna. So we have to give that kind of high throne to Shri Guru because he is the mercy personified of Bhagavan. So we talked about Guru Tattva. We have to remember this because all the Acharya songs, they are coming from Guru Tattva. And every song that we hear, every instruction that we hear from them should be valued so high, should be worshipped, should be kept in the heart, should be lived. That is the position of Sri Guru Vakya, Acharya Vakya. Unless we understand that position of Sri Guru as equivalent to Bhagavan, everything that the Acharyas are saying and singing, they would be just among many other songs that we hear. They are not like that. They are like Bhagavat Vakyas. Krishna Krupa Shri Murti is saying this to me, so he can get me closer to Krishna. So Guru is heavy. There is a lot of gravity in their words. And we have to give that kind of gravity to all these Acharya Vakyas. And only then our transformation will happen within. That is very important, Guru Tattva. And we'll show later how Srila Bhakti Siddhanta and other Acharyas has emphasized more on Guru Tattva. But so we have discussed all this in Tattva. And Jiva Tattva, we are all part of Bhagavan. So Jiva Tattva is just an object of respect and service for us. They are all linked with Bhagavad Tattva. Okay? Understanding these three major tattvas, we have gone through all the 10 offenses, and then we have seen the Shastric explanation and Acharya's explanation also. And then we came up with this positive affirmations of how not to commit any aparadhas during the japa. Yeah. So before the japa, first of all, we have to understand what those aparadhas are and how they are actually the blocks that are stopping the mercy to flow. So by doing these positive affirmations, we are removing the block one after the other, like that. So the mercy can flow. So the Harinam can flow straight to the heart. Yeah. So these are the positive affirmations. When we are saying these positive affirmations in the mind, we are meaning it. This is going to get us ready to chant the japa, because when we are thinking about this or saying it, we are removing the blocks one after the other, and then we're good to go to do the japa. And very quickly we will be with the Harinam with not too much distractions. That is the power of taking away these blocks. And we can do that with these positive affirmations, where we are respecting the Bhagavad Tattva and respecting the Guru Tattva and understanding what Jiva Tattva means. So the conclusion would be service to the holy name inside the japa and service to the Vaishnavas outside the japa. And very gratefully doing the Harinam Seva, chanting the holy name, because it is given by Sri Guru, who is our qualification. Yeah. So that should be our preparation internally. We are all set and our attention is there now to the holy name that we are going to chant. So this is all internal preparations by taking away the blocks. And now, with this, the alignment has happened. Grounding has happened in the first place, yeah, when we Krishnized everything. And now that we have taken the blocks away one after the other, the offenses away by these positive affirmations, now the alignment has happened. Now that the heart is aligned to the holy name, let's see what happens now. So all these steps, understanding, it can take some time, and start implementing, it may take few minutes before the japa. But once we do it regularly, it would just take few moments only. 1, 2, 3, go moments. And soon you will see that we are with the holy name. And there's not much of distraction, because this preparation, especially taking out these blocks internally by positive affirmations, just keeps us with the holy name. That will quickly bring us to the third stage of japa that was prescribed, by Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakura in Sri Harinam Chintamani. We'll get to that soon. So by this time, alignment is over. Now we are starting to chant. This is when, one after the other, the doors of Sri Sikshastakam will open, because we have taken out the blocks, and this will correspond. See, when we are taken out the blocks like this, Anartha Nivritti is happening right in the japa. And whatever happens in the japa is reflected outside the japa. So this is a very important step. And by continuing to chant in this stage, like this, putting efforts to avoid the offenses, taking away the blocks, sincerely, each time we do the japa, when we sincerely chant by taking away the blocks, slowly the clearing phase happens. All the anarthas, they get cleared. That's the aligning phase. And then what happens? So this will take some time. It will depend from person to person. But when there is sincere effort and strong faith in the Acharya Vakya and the potency of the holy name, then anartha nivritti happens pretty fast. Yeah, this is what I was saying. This corresponds to the third stage. This is from Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura, guidelines of how to chant. We talked about being introspective and discard all the 10 offenses. So after grounding, we talked about aligning. And in aligning, we have aligned ourselves to the holy name by taking away the blocks, the offenses. Okay? And one should distinctly pronounce the holy name and meditate upon the transcendental sound vibration. This is very important. In the very beginning, because being with the Harinam at that moment means chanting in the mode of goodness. That is a must, even before any further deepening in japa happens. We have to come to the present moment, mode of goodness. And when we are stabilized in the mode of goodness, in that present moment, then it gets deeper. In that mode of goodness, in that present moment. So the mind does not go in the past or future, in the present, but deeper. That is the third stage here. This happens when we are prayerfully and attentively chant the holy name. Chant the holy name. That to prayerfully and attentively chant the holy name, the first door of Sri Sikshastakam can help. But to understand that we have to, these are the steps, to take off the blocks and to really be with the holy name. We will be because we have taken off the blocks. And then chanting. And when one's chanting is clear, steady, and blissful, please note, these are exactly the words of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura from Sri Harinama Chintamani. Clear, steady, and blissful. Please note that there is no lot of effort that was put in. There is not a lot of boxing going on with the Harinam, during the Harinam. There's not a lot of exhaustion and tiring in chanting. All that happens because of the passion. That pushing and pulling, when Nama Aparadhi is happening, that's when it happens. But if we follow these instructions, guidelines exactly, we will come to this third stage quickly. We can really come to this third stage quickly if we are, following these guidelines exactly, taking away the blocks. So when one's chanting is clear, steady, and blissful, one should try and meditate on the Shyamasundara form of the Lord. This also happens effortlessly, because if one has come to the stage of chanting steadily and blissfully, it means the Nama is being steady. In the Nama is present Rupa and Guna. So that will automatically happen. We don't have to mentally speculate nothing. But we have to notice again, the chanting will be steady and blissful, and we don't even realize when that 16 rounds are over. We will feel like, I thought I just started it. And we feel so refreshed, and we want to just chant more in that stage. That is the third stage. Yeah. Okay. Now, this is just by removing the blocks and bringing the heart into the holy name. This will take us to the fourth and fifth step. So I will show you the next slide now, which would show the opening all the doors of Sri Sikshastakam, which would accompany all the waves of Saranagati. And all that we are going to see is from Sammodana Bhashya. Shri Sammodana Bhashya along with Sri Harinama Chintamani and Naam Bhajan by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta. Okay, so that's what I'm going to show. I'm just going to pause here and see if you have any questions at all for a minute or two. That way I feel like I gave a little pause. We will be going to the doors of Sikshastakam and the waves of Saranagati soon. Any one or two things before we go there? Or if you don't have any, then we'll just go there straight. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, let's move forward.
Yes, move forward. Let's go. Yes. All of you, please get ready. Okay. Where are you, dear? Yes. Okay. Gauranga. This is what Gauranga has given us. We sang the Bhajan of Saranagati, right? This is what Gauranga gave us. Trying to look for something here, please. Yes. Gauranga. This is the first one. We have removed the blocks. Okay. Started chanting. Our chanting is getting steadier. But if we take the help of these verses of Gauranga, then naturally the chanting gets deeper and there will be bonding with the holy name. Let's see how that happens. So we are chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, okay? And in this verse, Gauranga, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is making us introspective. And you look at this picture, our chanting was in the state of you are able to see the screen, right, Prabhu? Nam Namakari?
Yes, Mataji.
Mataji.
Yes, thank you. So you see it here. You please excuse this rough sketch, but it can really help us visually. See here, we are here chanting, okay? But these are, people around, other jivas around. So all this time, these arrow marks, they were actually out before the chanting because we're caught up with the thoughts about people and about things around. But with the Namna Makari Bahudhanija Sarva Shakti, what happens is, it is saying this verse is saying, what is my unfortunate position, O Lord? You are in this holy name and I don't have attachment for you. And I want to turn towards you. So that is the feeling. Krishna, O Harinam, you are here in the holy name. And you have been present with me at all times as Paramatma. You were there with me, you are with me now, and you will be there in the future. And that's what you have said also in the Shastra. You are here, right here in the holy name. And I haven't paid any attention to you. I was so caught up with the people around, so caught up with the things around. I am so sorry. I am so sorry that I did not pay attention to you. Knowingly or unknowingly, I disrespected you. I did not pay attention to you. I was so insensitive to you. I don't want to be insensitive like that. You are an emperor from whom all the material and spiritual worlds came out, and you are my master. And here I am disrespecting you. I don't want to do that. I really want to pay attention to you. I want to be sensitive to you. Yeah, I want to acknowledge you. So with Nam Namakari, we are supposed to have these feelings, these verses, the Shastras again, and the Acharya Vakya, they're supposed to make us think, कि मैं क्या कर रही हूँ? What am I doing? My best friend is there. And I don't even pay attention. I don't respect and I just ignore. I do my own things. And I have faith in somebody else and something else, but not in the very most dear Suhridam Sarvabhutanam sitting here in the holy name and in the heart. What kind of person am I? Such insensitive, Pashandi. So sorry, Krishna. So sorry, Harinam. I really want to pay attention to you. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. I am so sorry I was not attentive. I want to be attentive now. I'm so grateful that you are here. I have somebody to lean on to, and you have the capacity to bring me out of the miseries that I have. I don't have to look up to anybody for help, anything externally. I just have to treat the way that I need to treat you, Bhagavan. Harinam. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So when Hare Krishna Mahamantra is filled with this bhava of dainya, then these are the changes that happen. Slowly, our attention goes away from anything external, from the people around. And our attention is towards the Nama now. And of course, Shri Guru is here. We have no qualification. This opportunity is given by Shri Guru. So, through the Guru given Harinama, to the Guru given Harinama, we are looking up to the Lord now. We are turning towards the Lord now. This is going to make a huge difference. We were looking at others and we were looking at the other things and people around, but now we are just slowly trying to turn towards the Lord. And this is happening because even turning towards the Lord, that is Daivihesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratya. That's not easy. Otherwise, everybody whoever just chants the Harinam and next day they would become pure devotees. But slowly turning towards the Harinam is also mercy of the Harinam that we are trying to chant. We have invoked the mercy by taking away all the blocks. And now Harinam has, Krishna knows that we care for him. We care to take away those blocks. So slowly he withdraws the Maya. Because he's mercifully withdrawing the effect of Maya, we are starting to turn away from people, that sticky relationship and thoughts with the people, and turn towards Bhagavan. This happens. This is the very first thing that happens for us as we chant peacefully, steadily, and happily for some period of time. These emotions would come, and especially with the guidance of this Sri Sikshastakam, all these bhavas or emotions that we feel with each verse of Sri Sikshastakam are the actual gifts. And Harinam, the words that come out from our mouth, are gift boxes. They are like gift box. You might have heard shooting, empty bullets is just the Harinam with no emotion, no bhava, no attachment, no bonding to Harinam. That will just take us to only Nama Bhasa, just merging with the name. That's it at the most. But to establish our bonding relationship with Bhagavan, there are these emotions towards Bhagavan. That is what Harinam is meant for. All these emotions culminate in loving bond with Harinam. That is Krishna Prema. That is what Gaura is teaching through Sri Sikshastakam. And that is what, the limbs, emotions, the waves of Saranagati, they come out automatically as we go through these verses of Sri Sikshastakam, doors of Sri Sikshastakam. Here you see, Dainya is there. All these emotions, these are not something artificially creating. As we are turning, we are realizing that Harinam is there, right there in the holy name. What was I doing, Krishna? Best friend, Suhridam Sarvabhutanam, you've been just here. I didn't care for you. And you are Supreme Lord. Here I am, a dust particle. Still you are there for me. I am so grateful to you. I'm so sorry I've been inattentive to you. So all these that naturally come out are the feelings of dainya. Yeah. So this is what happens initially. And later on, I'll show you. All this is backed up by the Acharya Vakya. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta says, this has to happen for us. For the doors of Sri Sikshastakam to open, the jiva has to repent for what it has done to holy name. Yeah. And that is a part of dainya. Okay. So just to go through, here it says, this is the general feeling that a devotee gets once they recognize that holy name is Shaktiman himself and is just waiting for us to turn towards him. Yeah. Then we feel like, oh Lord, you are here in the holy name itself. And I'm not turning towards you, but you've been waiting for me. And you're doing everything for me. I didn't have to do jnana, ashtanga, karma, all that to get to you. You are here, right here in the holy name. I just have to take away these blocks and I just have to turn towards you. And you're so powerful and Shaktiman that you will open all these doors for me. That's the whole point. Only Shaktiman, Harinam, Lord Krishna can open all these doors of Sri Sikshastakam for us. We have no capacity to do that ourselves. But when we start feeling like this, for the Lord in the heart, Lord in the holy name, then he withdraws the Maya because we are turning towards him. And as he withdraws the Maya, gradually more and more, then we will feel that the doors of Sri Sikshastakam are opening more and more, and we are naturally feeling whatever is there in Sri Sikshastakam, at least a little bit of it in the very beginning. And this is how the bonding with Harinam happens. So that is dainya in the very beginning. When this dainya, when it gets even more condensed, you will not be able to stop with 16 rounds. Actually, just with this Namakari, what is it that I have done? I want to be attentive to you. You've been there with me all the time. Just with that itself, you don't know how many rounds it will take. 16 rounds are also not enough just for this. And if that is getting more condensed, something very beautiful happens. This is what happens. You look at this, the directions have changed. We used to think about people around. We used to be bothered. We used to be disturbed. Either positive is a disturbance, negative is also a disturbance. Yeah. Anything that is taking our attention away from the Lord is a disturbance. Praise is a disturbance if it is taking us away from the Lord. In any case, the sticky situation with the Jiva Tattva is gone by this time. You know why it is gone? Not because we wanted to withdraw from them, because our bonding with the Harinam has gone so much deeper. This is the real beauty. We have heard about Trinadapi Sunichena so many times, in so many classes also. But real Trinadapi Sunichena is to do with Bhagavan, Jiva to Bhagavan. It's not that I artificially feel and make myself low in front of others and try to bring some kind of humility, feel inferior. This is not Trinadapi. That's not the one. Trinadapi is what the soul feels for Bhagavan. The feeling of the soul when it starts bonding with Bhagavan. The first feeling is Trinadapi. Oh Krishna, oh Harinam, Bhagavan. How insignificant am I? You are Shaktiman, Bhagavan, Antaryami, everywhere. And here I am, a speck of dust. What am I thinking of myself? Such an insignificant being. And you are Antaryami. What to say about you? Trinadapi. I am lower than a blade of grass, even more lower than that. Clearly, there is no pretension and cultivation of humility here. It's clearly I'm a speck of dust in this Brahmanda. And what to speak of all the material world and spiritual world put together? What is my place? That's Trinadapi. Trinadapi Sunichina. And Taroreva Sahishnuna. These beautiful details are given by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta. That's in a different slide. I'm just going to give you a gist of all the verses. We can savor each verse in detail later, but I'll just go with the flow. So here in this Trinadapi Sunichina, the bonding with the holy name happens so much that the devotee naturally feels so insignificant. Of course, they see that they are insignificant. Because the bonding with the holy name and Krishna has happened so much, they're actually in Krishna samsara. It means they're naturally seeing that they're just a speck of dust in the world of Krishna. So everybody around them, they just see that they are simply meant to serve Krishna. So when I am in this stage, when I look around, I just see how beautifully everybody is serving Krishna. So the disease is gone here by this stage. In this stage, I was full of disease. Very sticky situation with the people around. The mind is just filled with the people. Whatever thoughts it might be positive, negative, whatever. But here the disease is gone. The mind is all with, everything related to Bhagavan. And you look around, totally fine, no problem. Everybody is wonderfully serving Krishna in their capacity. This is very wonderful. I have no problem giving them any respect. Amanina, I don't really have to look for any respect because I am such an insignificant speck of dust. Why do I need any respect at all? And yes, I want to respect everybody because they're so wonderfully serving Krishna. This is actually, they really feel it. They really feel it. I mean, when somebody has anger, when they're angry, they really shout. It's very natural. As much as it is natural for somebody to shout when they're in passion, so much it is natural for somebody who is in Trinadapi to feel like this. When Kaviraj Goswami is saying, I am a worm in the stool, no. It's not that he's comparing himself to anyone of us around. No. He was in relationship with Bhagavan. And he was feeling so lowly that he couldn't do much for Bhagavan. So we have to understand that this beautiful stage, Trinadapi Sunichana stage, is so beautiful. This is liberating. See, there is already liberation from all the modes. We are so much attached to the Harinam, to Govinda, to the service of the lotus feet of Govinda. By this time, it is not only Nama. You see, Rupa, Guna, they also start perceiving it. We are not calling it as imagination. We perceive it. So anger, we feel it, we perceive it. Rupa, Guna, the Guna of Bhagavan, we perceive them, as mentioned in the Shastra. By this stage, if one's japa is going like this in a steady state, they are in the stage of Nishtha. Because there are not much aparadhas here. See, when there is a sticky situation around with the people, then that is aparadhas, a block. But when there is so much of bonding with the service to the lotus feet of Govinda, there's not too many aparadhas. This is a stage of Nishtha, liberation. Yeah. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, in this, the chanting goes on with Sambandha. I am so insignificant, Bhagavan. You have accepted me as your servant and you're letting me chant your holy name, which is so pure and I'm so impure. You have come down as Sri Guru. What is my fortune? That sambandha, relationship. In that mood, the holy name Harinam goes on. And mantrartha chintana. This is very important here, as we already talked. We are talking about the gift in the gift box. Harinam is a gift box, but there have to be a gift inside. That is mantrartha chintana. What is my chintana? What is my thought? What is my bhava for the holy name in there? Yeah. So those two things, gift outside, gift box outside, but there has to be gift inside. That gift inside is our bhava for the Lord in the Harinam. Okay, by this stage, as we have just said, we are so much attached to the Lord and is in Krishna Samsara, as we just discussed. And remember, each verse of Sri Sikshastakam, each door is doing a magic, is causing a transformation. Here, when we are starting to look at Bhagavan, focusing, turning towards Bhagavan with the repention and with attention, with gratefulness, what is it happening within our heart? Cheto Darpanamarjanam is happening because we are turning towards the Lord. We are treating the holy name, Lord Hari, the way he needs to be treated, with all respect, attention, and gratitude. When that mood is coming within us, that specific mood is the one that is going to wipe out all the dust. Cheto Darpanam happens because of that. If that gift of gratefulness, attention, repention is not there, then the dust is still going to be there in the heart. And we wonder why our anarthas are not going away. Because there's no gift in that gift box. We are not feeling that towards Lord Krishna. And if somebody is, we have to remember this thing. These things may not happen right away to us. I'm just giving you the flow. But Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakura, he says, again, we are just going with the flow. This stage may take time for all these feelings to come. All of us may feel a droplet of it here and there, but to have significantly this kind of mood inside the japa and outside the japa, it may take time. It will take time because that is what is called clearing phase. Whatever modes that we have in, they are being cleared. So it will take time. We just have to continue doing the japa under the guidance like that with faith. And that is the clearing phase of Namabhasa. Okay. And so Cheto Darpan Marjam is happening like that. As long as we are putting sincere efforts, that's all. We should just keep going. Naturally, all the dirt that is there will slowly be cleansed, and we will be passing through that cleansing phase of Namabhasa, and naturally we will be taken to this stage as the dirt is more and more cleansed. And in this stage, Bhavamaha Davagni Nirvapanam happens, because this Bhava Samsara, Mahadavagni, forest fire, is because of our sticky situation with the things around, with the people around. Adi Daivika, Adi Bhautika, Adhyatmika. Now we are in Krishna Samsara and we see everything as Krishna's. So all those effect of modes are gone. Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam. So all that burning that we have because of Adi Daivika, Adi Bhautika, Adhyatmika, effect of modes is almost gone. Staying in devotion, doing the devotional service just goes on effortlessly, very least effort. Even if there are bumps and jerks here and there, we quickly revive and we move on with the devotional service. So the devotional service flows continuously here with least effort. Yeah, this is a liberating stage. Nishtha, Bhava Mahadava Agni Nirvapanam happens. Beautiful, already liberated from these modes. And as it continues, this stage comes. Feels like, oh my Lord, I'm just turning towards you. And I only simply acknowledge that I'm so insignificant, which is true. And I only see that everybody else is serving you so nicely to the best of capacity. And this itself is causing me so much of relief and joy. I don't find this taste. I don't find this wonderful experience in anything outside. Whatever I may do outside, I don't get this experience, such a wonderful experience, just turning towards you, bonding with your lotus feet in service, just acknowledging my insignificant position in you. This is so good, Bhagavan. Please allow me to be in this loving service to you. I don't really have to do anything with anything outside. All that is yours. That is your zone. Anybody outside, anything outside is your zone. All I need is just your loving service. I only want to do whatever facilitates me to serve you like this. I don't really want to do anything that takes me away from this service and bonding with you, Govinda. That is nadanam, najanam, nasundarim kavitamba, jagadisha kamaye, mama janmani janmanishware, bhavatat bhakti rahaitu kitvayi, just the bhakti, Govinda. That's all I want. So the addiction is starting now. Beautiful addiction to the loving service, to the lotus feet of Govinda is starting here. That's where we're saying, no, nothing else. I just need service to the lotus feet of Govinda. Yeah. So by this time, this is the way of Saranagati. No, I don't want anything else from outside. I only want your loving service. I don't want to do anything that takes me away from this. Can we mute, Prabhu? Somebody please mute, please. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So Govinda, I don't really want to do anything that takes me away from this loving service to your lotus feet, Govinda. Anukulyasya sankalpam. I don't want to do anything different. That is pratikulasya varjanam. I don't want anything that takes me away from this service to your lotus feet, loving service to your lotus feet, Govinda. Is pratikulasya varjanam. I don't want that. Then what do I want? Anukulasya sankalpam. Anything and everything. Even if it is problems or hurdles or whatever it may be, I invite anything and everything that can keep me in this internal status of attraction for the service, loving service to your lotus feet, Govinda. That is Anukulasya sankalpam. So this is one wave of Saranagati. Two waves of Saranagati right here. Anukulasya sankalpam, pratikulasya varjana. And here, these are the waves of Dainya in the other two verses that we have seen. So by this time, as we already mentioned, the bonding with the service, loving service to the lotus feet of Govinda is getting thickened, and we are starting to get addicted to the loving service of Govinda. What is happening because of all this? Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitranam is happening. In this stage, the devotees, they don't really have to read this book, that book, again this course, that course. No, they don't have to do much. to understand what the Shastra is giving and Acharyas are giving. Because the holy name, this is actually Vidyavadu Jivanam is the next one. But in this case, Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam. It means the lotus is blossoming more. When the addiction to the service of lotus feet of Govinda is happening, it means the fortune, our fortune is the lotus of our fortune is blossoming. Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitarana. Yeah. So that is happening there. In Nadanam Najanam. When we want only the service to the lotus feet of Govinda, then our fortune, the fortune of our lotus is blossoming. This actually takes us to the fourth stage of Bhajan Rahasya. By this time, the devotee would perceive so much of gunas of the lotus feet of Lord Hari. And the rupa here this is not an imaginary one. When the gunas are perceived, these gunas have to come from a spiritual rupa that is also perceived. Yeah. So that happens by this stage, Nadanam, Najanam. Yeah. And next stage, Ainanda Tanuja Kinkara. This is the stage where, the addiction that has just started in Nadanam Najanam to the service of lotus feet has gotten into deep, the habit has gotten into deep addiction. Ainanda Tanuja Kinkara. Here, the devotee feels intense desire to attain Lord's lotus feet. They only live for this. And with that intense desire to attain Lord's lotus feet, with that bonding that they have through devotional service, through Sri Guru and Saranagati. And please remember, by this time, for somebody to come to Trinadapi, full surrender to the instruction of Sri Guru, that can take us to these stages, that we shouldn't forget. All this we cannot do on our own. Very important point. Not with our mind. Just because we are going through this, we are hearing this. If we try to do it, we will be like, what? I have heard it and I'm trying to do it with my mind. I feel like I'm going nowhere. Because all these doors, all these zones are through Saranagati, through Sri Guru. Yeah, we want to know all this because in our spiritual journey, a point will come where we will be like, I've done so much in bhakti. Now I really have to turn towards Sri Guru Saranagati. That point will come. And when that maturity, when that point is coming from within, then we will want to know more about the journey. So this is why we are all discussing now. This may not happen to us right away. And this will happen only with the Saranagati through Sri Guru. Nevertheless, this is awaiting us. So that's why we are going through this. Yeah. And holy name has that power. It is going to give the inspiration. It is going to give the strength, the insight, the taste, and everything that we need for this journey to happen. Sadhu Sangha with the holy name. Nadanam Najanam. Okay, the addiction has gotten deeper here, and there is intense desire to attain Lord's lotus feet. This is laulyam. So much so that, and remember, please, this cannot happen on a mental platform. If it happens on the mental platform, that would be very disturbing for us, even to carry out our normal activities. But this is a very mature spiritual stage. There is so much of laulyam within. They may appear very, very ordinary outside, these devotees. There are many devotees like this around, if we are able to see. So there are devotees. We may not be able to recognize them. but inside they have so much laulyam for the Lord's lotus feet. With that laulyam, what happens? This particular desire to attain Lord's lotus feet, this softens and melts the heart. And the devotee would start to feel like this. These are the words of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. Oh Lord, your lotus feet, this Harinam is given by Sri Guru. This is my boat and the only shelter. Yeah? And he is subservient to Krishna's will and dependent on him. This is the key point. For them, Queen Kimti's praise, right? I don't care whatever Vipata Santata Sashvat Tatra Tatro Jagat Guru. It's okay, Krishna. Whatever name you may give, whatever problem it might be, no problem, as long as I can have this internal state of Saranagati and reciprocation with you. So they have zero complaints for whatever is happening with their life, with their body. They have no interest at all about what people say about them. Good, bad, ignore, curse, nothing to do with anything around. Because they're mad after Govinda here. So when this bhajan, when we say bhajan, it's not just the 2 hours of bhajan. What's there in the bhajan flows outside the bhajan too. So that's a internal state of our consciousness, that longing for Govinda, that is expressed as loving devotional service. When that stage comes in our life, and when that stage goes on, all we can do is just wait and wait and wait for the mercy of Govinda. There is nothing more we can do. But because all that laulyam is getting so dense, and remember, when the laulyam is getting so condensed, the heart is so soft, so melting. There's an example that I've heard in, I think it must be Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj or Kaur Kishore Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, yeah, or one of those sadhus. So they were about to have a prasad. This is in Raja, Vrindavan. They were about to have prasad in a leaf that was served on the ground. And just then a dog came and started eating the prasad from their plate. And the sadhu was just, giving more and more to the dog there, And the disciples came and they're like, what is this, Guru Maharaj? Then he was saying he's a Vrajavasi. And, and the softness that he had, there was no, he wasn't seeing himself being in a human body and that being in a dog body. So at that point, all that his words were just completely filled with mercy. So for those who had so much of longing for Krishna, by default, they're super merciful. And beyond this bodily cognition, bodily platforms also, like that. So, and when that, again, the bhajan continues internally throughout, in and out of the japa. Whenever Bhagavan, out of causeless mercy, desires to do so, gives a drop of Ladini Shakti to that devotee. With that Ladini Shakti, the devotee would know what his Swarupa is, what his Rasa is, in what way is he going to serve Bhagavan. That's the stage of Bhava, where Swarupa is revealed when a drop of Ladini Shakti descends into the Jiva, from the spiritual realm, from the Shuddha Sattva. So these are the words of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. Lord Krishna, out of fathomless compassion, accepts Jiva, placing him as pollen particle at his lotus feet. This is Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitamam Shami Bhavam Buddha. Kripaya Tava Pada Pankaja Stita Dhulir Satrisham Vichintaya. Stita Dhuli, a dust particle. Tava Pada Pankaja, at your lotus feet. And at this stage, the hidden identity and proclivity will re-manifest. These are the words of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, exactly. Hidden identity and proclivity will re-manifest. It means all of us who are doing this Harinam Seva, doing chanting, japa, got this Harinam from our Guru Parampara. All of us have some identity and proclivity. We have a Swarupa that is not condensed and revealed yet. But when the heart longs for Govinda so much that the heart is melted and has gone beyond this physical and mental platforms, then at that time, the Bhava Bhakti is awakening. The Swarupa is revealed. And by that time, Avashyarakshave Krishna, Goptrutve Varnam, they have no anxiety, zero anxiety of how they are going to be maintained, what is going to happen in the future. Nothing. That is, of course, Brajendra Nandana, Shyamasundara is there. What is there to think of me? But how can I please Shyama now? That's all. Nothing else goes on in them. That is all. And when we are saying about this waves of Saranagati, these feelings, any waves of Saranagati can happen anywhere with any doors opening in Sri Sikshastakam. I just pointed out the wave that can be more predominating in that particular door like that. But all these waves, they can be combined with different proportion in each door. These are all, our emotions, spiritual emotions. So there are no hard and fast rules. There can be combination of waves with different proportion for each door. Like in the first one, when there is Nam Namakari Bahudanaja Sarva Shakti, here itself, Krishna, you are there for me. I don't have to look for anybody around. Rakshisya Didi Vishwaso Goptrutve Varnantada Krishna, I'm not going to look around. I'll simply engage in your devotional service. Now you are here as Harinam. I'll simply, peacefully, gratefully chant your Harinam. Avashyarakshave Krishna, you will take care of it. If I do my devotional service now, doing this japa gratefully, attentively to you, Krishna, then everything that I need to do later, after the japa, they will fall in place. My spiritual progress will already happen. So I don't really have to think of anything. I have nothing in this world at this time, but simply to serve you, Harinam, because Avashyarakshave Krishna, Vishwasa Palana, Goptratve Varana, and I am Daina. I am so insignificant, and I am so grateful that you are reciprocating with me. And I don't want to do anything that takes me away from you. I want to be here with you, Govinda. So all these are combinations of different waves of Sharanagati that can happen with any door. So here, Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram, again, there are 24/7 bliss of absorption in loving transcendental service to Govinda. They are just living for Govinda with zero anxiety, totally dependent on Govinda. No thoughts about the food, no thoughts about the shelter. Only thought is, how can I please Govinda? What does he want me to do now? If we read the Charita of the Acharyas, this is the typical life of every Acharya in the past. Srila Narottam Das Thakura, Srinivasacharya, Shyamanand Pandita, Rasikananda Prabhu, oh my goodness. All their lives are, we are just reading them as, as something that could, we are praying that this could happen to us, but their lives are just lived like this. All our previous acharyas, if you read their charita, yeah, so they're just blissfully absorbed in 24/7 in the loving service to Govinda. And for them, like Srila Gorkishore Das Babaji Maharaj, for him, he was an illiterate. He did not read any Shastra. All he heard was from his Sri Guru. Whatever he had heard from Sri Guru, all the essence of this Shastra, everything about the devotion has descended into his heart. Remember the other day we were talking in the WhatsApp group Harinam Seva. Anything to do with the Shuddha Bhakti has to descend into our heart from the heart of Sri Guru. This is what has happened to Srila Gorkishore Das Babaji. He didn't have to read a thing. But that Shuddha Bhakti was implanted into his heart by his Sri Guru. So for them, Vidyavadu Jivanam, they don't have to read anything outside. Whatever they are experiencing inside, whatever they are realizing inside, is actually put in words outside for them. That's it. So they don't have to get anything from outside. Whatever they have inside has just been written in Shastra. That's it. Other way out, inside out. That is Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram, where Vidyavadu Jivanam happens. By this time, there are no anarthas. There is no tendency to do any anartha, any hurt to anybody in any form, because they're just filled with Govinda. You know, filling with the thoughts of Govinda means we have to understand they are perceiving the qualities of Govinda. The lotus feet of Govinda, it is said that we have read in the past all the signs that are present on the lotus feet of Govinda. One of the signs is lotus flower. It signifies how soft the lotus feet of Govinda is, how soft Harinam is. So each guna, just by contemplating it, they just get absorbed in each Kalyana guna of the Hariname of Govinda. This is how they are just absorbed. Nama, in the Rupa, and in the Guna. That's why the absorption goes deeper. Not just, dharana, but it goes into dhyana. When the water is poured down, there is thin stream, but there can be a little break here and there. But when honey is poured down, there is no break. Such a continuity. That is dhyana. And how is that dhyana coming? Because they are so much absorbed. In the Nam is present Rupa and Guna. This is why one word of Krishna means they are overwhelmed with the thoughts and with the perception of such wonderful qualities of Krishna. This is what Srimad Bhagavatam is saying. The whole Srimad Bhagavatam is talking about the devotees who are absorbed in the Nama Rupa Guna. Yeah. So, but by this time, even the Leelas also. Yeah, spiritual identity. When the Swarupa is given, the Leelas, they will be able to perceive the Leelas also. Yeah. And this is more information about the Leelas by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta. We can savor it more later individually. But to go on with the flow, after this, Ainanda Tanuja Kinkara, Nayanam Kaladashrudharaya, Vadanam Katgadaruddhaya Gira. They are unable to utter the word of Krishna. The tears are flowing from the eyes. Voice is choking because they're perceiving how wonderful Kalyana Gunaganas Govindas have. And that's why their voice is choking. They don't have to do anything for the bodily symptoms. They just follow and reflect what's happening internally in their bhava. This is inside out. So they are so much addicted to the loving service of Govinda, to the thoughts of Govinda, that that is reflecting with this physical manifestations outside. So please see, pure devotees, they have this thing going on internally. And that's why externally they show, these symptoms are shown out. This is inside out bhakti. There are some devotees, Srila Prabhupada and Acharya say, Sahajiyas, they try to show that they have these physical symptoms. They try to shake, they try to have the tears coming out, all this. But they don't actually have this thing inside. So they are called Sahajiyas. But for those true devotees who are in this stage of Bhava Bhakti, this is what is going on inside them. So for them, what's happening is they got addicted to the loving service of Govinda so much. And now that they know the Swarupa also, they got closer to the Lord in the cooling shade of the lotus feet. And Anandamudivartanam, nectarian ocean of devotional service. Why? Because inside, inseparable sweet absorption in the lotus feet of Govinda, dependence on the lotus feet of Govinda, sweet absorption in the lotus feet of Govinda. Govinda is present in the Harinam. And this happens at 24/7, non-stop, as we just discussed, when the honey is poured down. We have to remember they are fully dependent on Krishna, Sharanagata Bhaktas. They do not know what happens in the next moment. They are totally dependent on Krishna. And they have so much faith in the Lord's mercy. That's why Avashya Rakshibe Krishna, Goptritve Varna. This is the other quality. What we're trying to say here is, these are the qualities of pure devotional service. This is from Rupa Goswami's Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. I'm just putting it in a contextual way, so we know what's inside of a Premi Bhakta here. They are fully dependent on Krishna, totally absorbed in Krishna, full faith in the mercy of the Lord, and they're just being a puppet to do what the Lord in the heart wants them to do. There is no limitation of time, place, and body. Great example is Srila Prabhupada on the so-called deathbed with full clarity of mind. He was just translating Srimad Bhagavad, dictating beyond the limitation of time, place, and body, totally dependent on Krishna, fully absorbed in Krishna. Then, because they're like that inside, these bhaktas, these Premi bhaktas, they're very reserved. They don't, what people talk about them, what happens outside is not of big interest to them at all. They are to themselves so much because they're absorbed in Govinda, not with the people around or things around. They're very much unconcerned about what people's behavior to them, respect, disrespect. They're beyond all this. And the physical symptoms while they meditate on the Lord's lotus feet, the Ashtasatvika Vikar, they automatically happen because of their absorption. Head standing on the end, Nainam Galadashrudharaya, the ecstatic tears coming out. All those physical symptoms is because of what is happening to them internally. Okay, that is Nayanam Galadashrudharaya. And this is Vipralambha Bhakti. This is Prema Bhakti. These two are Bhava Bhaktis. Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram and Nayanam Galadashrudharaya are Bhava Bhaktis. They were seeing the Leelas also of the Lord. So Nama, Rupa, Guna in full Leelas. They are seeing the Leelas also. And now comes Prema Bhakti. They can enter into the Leela anytime. These are all Premi Bhaktas. And for them, there is intense desire for Krishna in their softest heart. They just see Krishna everywhere. Jaha netra pade, taha Krishna. And wherever they see, they only see Govinda. That and Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena. All they see is Krishna. In the death they see Krishna. In the misery they see Krishna. In the praise they see Krishna. In the criticism they see Krishna. Outside the body, inside the body, everything is about Krishna for them. And so there is extreme attraction and affection and dependence on Preeti Vishaya. There is only one Preeti Vishaya for us. That's Govinda, Krishna. For all of us, for all the jivas, Preeti is love. Vishaya is object. There is only one object of love for us, for the jivas. That is Bhagavan, Lord Krishna. So these Premi Bhaktas, they are now abode of love, Preeti Ashraya. They are just completely filled with love for Krishna. That's why they are called Preeti Ashraya. Love for who? Love for Preeti Vishaya, Krishna. Okay. So they're totally dependent on Preeti Vishaya, Lord Krishna, in a specific rasa. Yeah. By this time they know their Swarupa, and when they are going into meditation, they are actually in their Swarupa. You know, Shamananda Pandit, when he was in the Grus of Vrindavan, when he went into meditation, he could see Radharani and the anklet, right? That was there in the groove. All those charitas, all those pastimes is because of this. They are in the pastimes. They can go there. Yeah. So for them, any moment or any time in between the moment without Govinda is a lot of pain for them. They cannot bear that separation. That is Vipralamba. Yeah. And when they chant, for them, Pratipadam Purnamritasvadanam. Every word is nectar-filled drop. Every moment is a celebration of loving devotional service to Govinda. Last one. This is into the spiritual realm. Aslishyava padaratam pinastama. Adarshanam marmahatam karotuva. Yatha tatha vidadhata lampatu mat prananadastu sayeva naparaha. Whatever you may do, Govinda, mat prananadastu, my Lord of the heart, Lord of the life, is just you, Govinda. Even if you're present in front of me or not, even if you trash me or pick me up, it's up to you. However you like to do, you are the Lord. But I am going to be your maidservant, no matter what you do. So here, Prahlad Maharaj says in his prayers, as an iron gets attracted to magnet by default, it's just so natural for the iron to get attracted to the magnet. So in this stage, the jiva so naturally gets attracted to Bhagavan. If the magnet, it doesn't matter wherever the magnet is, however it is, iron always tries to get attracted to magnet. This is from Sri Prahlad Maharaj's prayer in the 7th canto. This was the example that was given by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta also. So this is a state where the devotee is fully surrendered soul, pain or gain. All our acharyas are the Premi Bhaktas with Aslishyava Padaratam, fully surrendered, pain or gain, perceiving Nama Rupa Guna Leela. And when they chose to, when they are in this body, they can perceive the Leela in Bhava Bhakti. but when they actually want to enter into the Leela, then they have to discard this mortal body so they can enter into the Leela. Entering into the Leela in Spurti can happen within this body, but entering into the Leela in the Braja with the body, with the spiritual body, in total, that will happen after casting away this mortal body. Okay. So that's Prema Bhakti. And these are the words of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta. Path of Krishna consciousness is called Prema Dharma. That we really have to remember all time. At any moment, this is the goal. Why am I doing this bhakti? This is for Krishna Prema. Then why am I getting angry now? Then why am I having a complaint now? Why am I concerned about somebody else, something else? Because I'm doing bhakti for this goal. Krishna Prema, Prema Dharma. So the goal should always be in front of us. Otherwise, we can just get deviated and unnecessarily get frustrated and time waste. Okay, path of Krishna consciousness is called Prema Dharma, Dharma of loving devotional service. This path of religion neglects all results given by Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim. Done. Not even the liberation. Ainanda tanuja kinkaram. I'm simply your servant, Krishna. A devotee serves Krishna, has affection for him, meets him, or may do anything. The sole intention is to please Krishna and increasing loving service for him. So that's Prema Bhakti, where it is Sarvatma Snapanam, and they are fully in perceiving Rupa, Nama Rupa, Guna Leela. Prema Bhaktas. So that's all about all the doors of Sri Sikshastakam, when opened, gradually will be perceived by different waves of Saranagati, combinations of it. And if that is happening as a natural phenomenon in our spiritual journey, this should reflect outside as a very steady bhakti in the services, in the interactions. At least the mood of goodness will prevail for the most part of the day. Then we can say, oh, okay, my japa is actually going through the doors of this Saranagati, of this Sri Sikshastakam, like that. Yeah, if it is just mentally happening inside, soon after the japa, then we will get into the passion, the pushings and pullings. If they're happening soon after japa, then whatever has happened during the japa is maybe more mental, like that. But in any case, our job is just to keep chanting under the guidelines of the Acharya. First, to as I summarize, our job is to I'm summarizing. So some kirtana is the stage that we want to get to, and all our sadhana bhakti is meant to get to that stage. And when we get to that stage, other angas of bhakti would automatically be done out of love. So in that way, Samkirtana is a very unique anga amongst all the angas of bhakti. We talked about that. And to come to that stage of Samkirtana, what do I do outside? Practice bhakti, invoke mercy by practicing bhakti in mode of goodness. What do I do inside the japa? Grounding. Krishna is everything. And take away the distractions. Okay, and what can I do more to get my heart into the Harinam? Then the guidance of Sri Sikshastakam comes, and taking away the blocks one after the other. When the blocks are taken away, that is invoking the Lord's mercy. Alignment has happened. Second step, right? And when that happens, then the bonding between us and the Harinam starts. How does that start? It starts with accepting, repenting. Oh, Harinam, I'm so sorry. I've been so inattentive. And I didn't realize that you are there for me. I've been looking for some support, some help. I was looking around, but you are here, right here. I can lean on to you, Harinam. You are there for me. Avashyarakshibe Krishna. Goptritve Varna. Yeah. And yes, I want to be attentive to you. Yeah. So that way, the waves of Dainya help us bond with the Harinam. And that's how the doors of Nam Namakari and Trinadapi Sunichena, they open. And by the time we get to Trinadapi, we are almost liberated. We have no problem with whatever is going on around, whoever is saying whatever, because I am so much thankful to Govinda that he is engaging me in some service all the time. Such an insignificant soul, but he's kindly engaging me in the service. And anything else, everything else is all Govinda's zone or Krishna's zone. So not to be worried much, move on. That's Trinadapi Sunichena. And after that, once we got the taste of that, our relationship with Govinda as such an insignificant service is so sweet. So sweet. Ecstasy of being insignificant and serving Lord Krishna. And being so grateful for whatever service he has given us, including the Harinam that I'm trying to do. Yeah. And that will slowly move on to the next stage of getting a little more attached to the taste, that wonderful taste of service to Govinda, being in that insignificant position. Then by that time, the humility is already there. It's just there. We don't have to try fake. It's just there because we are looking at and being thankful to Govinda for the service that he's engaging us in. So that we want more and more. And we don't want anything that takes us away from that kind of service to the lotus feet of Govinda. So, na janam na danam na sundari, nothing external, please. And whatever you need to do for me to be in this stage, to continuously serve you like this, Govinda, please go ahead. Avashyarakshibe. So this is anukulasya sankalpam, pratikulasya varchanam. Okay, the attachment has started now. It goes into addiction to the loving service of the lotus feet of Govinda. That is Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram. By that time, the Ladini Shakti, a drop of Ladini Shakti comes into us, and we will be given what our Swarupa is. And all this happens through complete shelter of Sri Guru, his instructions. Sri Guru Tattva totally pervades within us by that time, inseparable from us as Bhagavad Tattva. And only then all these stages of Ainanda Tanuja Kinkara can happen. Then Bhava Bhakti. After that, the Bhava Bhakti deepens. Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela, they are able to see the Leelas also. That will progress to Prema Bhakti. Then Aslishiva Padaratam Pinastvam. That's the final stage of Prema Bhakti, where fully Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela are present. Premi Bhaktas, they are in Seva Samadhi and 24/7 in devotional service. Sarvatma Snapanam. So in this way, Cheto Darpanam Archanam, Pavamahadavagni Nirvapanam, Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam, Vidyavadhu Jeevanam, Anandam Buddhivartanam, Pratipadam, Purnamritaswadanam, Sarvatma Snapanam, Param Vijayate, Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. Sri Krishna Sankirtanam is bound to win. Victory guaranteed over these conditioned souls. We will be picked up And we will be taken through the whole journey from Chetodarpanamarchanam until the very end Sarvatma Snapanam. When, how, it is all up to Govinda. But from my side, I have these instructions from Acharyas, and these doors of Sharanagati given, doors of Sri Sikshastakam given by Gauranga, and Sharanagati, waves of Sharanagati given by Acharyas, given by Gauranga through the Acharyas. So now that we have all this, we have the instructions, we have the path now, map now, and the light is given, and the guidance is being given. Yeah? And we just prayerfully, gratefully walk every day, all the time, with each mantra. I'm going to pause here. I feel like I'm celebrating Diwali now. So grateful to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Hari, I'm gonna pause. Please, it's all up to you.